I want to be a striped burrowing frog. As soon as the rainy months are over and the dry summer heat dries out the pond it used to call home, this Australian frog just digs into the mud and stays there until the rain returns. This can take months or even years. He does not need water or food, he just sleeps until the stressful days are over and the pond turns into his home again. I would like to do that too. Sleep until all of my problems solve themselves and the rain revives me. But I'm not a greenstripe frog. I have no stripes at all. I am a human and I am currently hiding at the Dalen Museum for Agriculture and Food. I chose this place because it has baby goats, sheep, and it also let me bring my own sheep. And I am hiding because I haven't been able to clean my home properly in weeks, and also home is where my responsibilities are, which sucks. My responsibilities should not be spread throughout my entire home. They should be in a box where I can take care of them one by one. But I don't even think that I have a box that is big enough to carry all of my responsibilities. So, from one busy girl to another, how do we get through this? This is not a rhetorical question. This is a cry for help. Okay, I just laid face down in the grass for half an hour and maybe I was exaggerating. Let's try this again. Remember the time you had this chronic headache, lower back pain, a cold, or an infection that would just return every few weeks, and you went to the doctor and he took one look at you and said, "You need to avoid stress." Doctors tend to never take chronic issues that aren't life-threatening seriously, so you just assumed this was just another case of our public health system failing, which, let me be clear, you are not necessarily wrong for thinking that. Then, for some reason whatsoever, you did decide to take half a year off work, or were able to take half a year off. And you realized, damn, they were right. I remember that, because it happened to me like a year ago. However, that doesn't really solve our problem, doesn't it? Because we cannot just take half a year-long vacations forever. If you watched my last video, you know I am currently working on pressuring myself less when it comes to my personal growth, my career, my relationships, and everything else. I am trying to create space for myself. However, being able to do so is a privilege not everyone has, and it is also not something that we can do overnight. We have to endure until we are able to change our situation, and endurance is something that I have been thinking about a lot lately. People often ask me, how do you survive 2 jobs, uni, and 100 hobbies? And I think it's time that I find a proper answer to that goes beyond, oh, I meditate. Because honestly, I have no idea. You're more than your dirty clothes, or your lack of money, you need protection, honey. You shut the door so hard it's split. The first thing you need to know, and that was a thing that was also very hard for me to accept, is you will make mistakes. A lot of them. Very stupid ones. You might think you have everything under control, but people under pressure make stupid decisions. That's just the way it is. And it's important that you try to forgive yourself for it, because no one else is obligated to do so. I have forgotten birthdays, missed important events and deadlines. I have been rude to people I love, have accidentally ghosted people because I kept forgetting to reply, lost things. These mistakes are an important wake-up call, a warning that you are biting off more than you can chew. So take them seriously. However, once again, when you are in a state of stress where you can't avoid these mistakes, it won't help to beat yourself up over it for too long. It will just clutter your brain even more and lead to more anxiety, guilt, and stress, and, well, obviously more mistakes. Take a second to collect yourself. Reflect on what went wrong and what you want to do differently next time. Apologize if necessary, but keep in mind that these are the consequences of your actions. And the person who is not at fault for your situation and got hurt by your actions might not understand your situation. No one is obligated to do the emotional labor of taking away your guilt. This is something you have to do for yourself. The second thing is that you need to have a home, some type of anchor, which means I have to go home.
Don't you need a place to stay? I could be a hideaway.
Home doesn't feel like a safe space for me right now. It feels like a temporary space where I just go to shower or quickly change clothes, where important letters are spread all over the floor unopened, where I trip over my piano that I didn't unpack after last night's performance. I need to live in a clean space, so I really try to clean it bit by bit whenever I can. And while I would recommend that to everyone, of course, the point I'm trying to make is home does not feel safe for everyone all of the time. So you might have to create your home or your anchor somewhere else. This can be a place. It can also be a person. Just something that reminds you what your feet on a carpet feel like, what the comfort of a warm blanket on a cold day feels like. I also want to remind you, no matter how busy you are, to take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day to reflect, regroup, and reorganize. Often we stress ourselves about problems where the solution is just hiding in plain sight, but we are too busy following the wrong path to see it. During stressful situations, we tend to focus all of our resources on the next task at hand. So it's not really easy to find the time to look at the bigger picture. It's not easy to break this pattern, but trust me, it is worth it. 5 to 10 minutes of reflection a day are enough to notice important things, like, for example, that you are taking on the responsibilities of another person, or that you are constantly fixing small issues in a project you are working on instead of fixing the problem that is causing them. That an event or a project you were afraid of is actually not that hard or scary. You are just expecting way too much from yourself. One last thing that we tend to forget is this situation is temporary. That is both a promise and a threat. Our body and mind are usually capable of working under pressure, even under a lot of pressure, and they can be pushed to their limits without breaking. However, just for a limited amount of time. There is an after, or at least an in-between. And usually these moments after or in between the stress are the moments you work for, and not for the stress itself. If you don't take care of your body and mind, you will spend these moments recovering instead of living and enjoying what you worked for. Or, even worse, you might not be even able to recover at all. Your body and mental health are your most important resources. Society will reward you for overworking yourself, not for taking care of yourself. So while your body will scream at you with unspecific symptoms, trying to tell you that something is wrong, everything else will yell at you that it can wait. And we don't have time for this. Well, it can't wait. Listen to your body, or to trick the little evil hyperproductive capitalist demon in your head, imagine how much more productive you will be without headache, lower back pain, insomnia and anxiety. Sure, you will work less if you sleep an hour more, spend half an hour a day meditating or moving your body, or if you feed your body something real instead of chocolate croissants and instant noodles. However, I promise you, your work will be way more productive and, most importantly, more enjoyable. Please just trust me on this. Try it out. Observe how you spend your time. It's probably at least 3 hours a day of getting distracted by your phone, bedtime procrastination, Googling random things instead of working, because you cannot get yourself to focus. You can replace at least a part of this with healthy coping mechanisms and sleep. And things will get so much better when you don't have the constant urge to dig and hide in the ground. Because here's the thing, the ground is hot and dry, and the comfort you find in it is an illusion. It might take a while until the rain revives you, and you, my friend, are not a greenstripe frog. You have to find your own coping mechanisms, your own way out. And I believe you will, if you are patient with yourself and take care of yourself, just like I will. And then I will sit in this garden, no longer procrastinating, but drinking in its beauty without any shame. After all, we shouldn't be ashamed to enjoy beautiful things.
I don't see you, but I do. You're more than another mucho, more than another revolution. My way start with
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know and tell me about your personal stress coping mechanisms in the comments. Because I'm definitely not the healthiest person when it comes to stress. I overwork myself constantly, and I would love to hear the perspective of someone who doesn't. If you like the music that you heard throughout the video, I wrote it myself, so check out the link in the description if you would like to hear some of my fairy pop. Yeah, other than that, like this video, subscribe if you want, and go visit your local museum for food and agriculture. See you next time. Bye!
to keep you, want to stay, want to run.